Danny Segura for MMA Fighting here in New York City with Gegard Mousasi. Gegard, you have a pretty big fight coming up, fighting Bellator welterweight champ Rory MacDonald. You've mentioned how he's the one that called you out, and you were like, okay, if he wants to fight, let's fight. If he wouldn't have called you out, if he wouldn't have asked for this fight, is that a guy that you still wanted to fight, or this is really coming down because he wanted it?
Well, I wouldn't mention his name because I'm a middleweight. It would have been weird, but he has a big name. He's a great fighter, a very nice guy also. And once he mentioned, I'd rather fight him than an unknown middleweight. So that was the fight that we liked also.
So are you almost glad that he called you out, because right now at middleweight there isn't really like a clear contender in Bellator, and perhaps not that one has a big name as Rory MacDonald?
Well, you have one contender. You have one Brazilian. He's not that good. He's 8-0. He's old. But the other one is good. But I don't know the names. I don't know the names. I think Bellator brought me here to have big fights, big names, big headline main card or co-main event,
Is that a bit frustrating as a champion, like seeing like, hey, there isn't like a clear contender that's 185 out there and that has a big name? Is that a little bit frustrating?
Well, there is a clear contender. I just forgot his name. He's the American fighter. He's good. He's really good, actually. And but like I said, it's not fair to him. He doesn't get his shot, but that's not my job. I'm here to fight, and if I fight anyone Bellator gives me. But Bellator wanted to make this fight, and this is more favored for me because Rory is a big name and a big fight.
And somebody that just recently signed, Lyoto Machida, you guys have history together, and he plans on staying at 185, also doing some 205, but he's not leaving 185. Is that a fight that you would like to get at some point?
100%. I think we're in different stages now, and if he wins this fight and is the contender, we 100% gonna do that.
And what exactly do you mean? You feel like he's in a different stage right now?
Well, he's older, and there was drug testing in UFC. But if I fight him, he needs a lot of drug testing too.
Do you think perhaps he was under some?
100%. 100%.
What makes you think that? Like, what makes you come to that conclusion?
Back and look at his physique. I think that says enough.
And since you fought him, he's gone through a lot in his career. What do you make of him as a fighter and his skill set and where he's at, given his most recent performances?
Well, he's a skilled guy, no doubt about it. But when you get older, everything goes a little bit downward. And then, listen, fighters, they cannot fight to 47 as they did before. If they're clean, it's difficult, especially against high class fighters. They can beat a little bit lower guys, but against the top competition, it's difficult when you're 41 or whatever, and then still be able to physically, skill-wise maybe you can, but on the highest level, small things make big difference.
And I know you have an upcoming fight, but Rory's coming up to fight for the middleweight title, so he's fighting for a second belt. Are you interested in any of that, perhaps going to 205 or even testing heavyweight, or are you just going to stay in your weight class at 185?
Sure, 205, Ryan Bader would be a nice fight, but at this moment, Rory first. Other than that, whatever they give me, I don't care. I'm going to finish my contract, and then after that, we see.
And lastly, you had said that you could maybe see yourself fighting for 4 or 5 more fights. Is that still the plan, or? Yeah,
I have 4 more fights on my contract, so finish this 4, and then it's adios. No more Mousasi. Mousasi is gonna sit on Bahamas eating French fries.
So that's 100%. Like, you have that set in your mind.
That's the plan, but all plans can change. You never say never, because let's say I win all 4 and they come with a lot of money. It's, I was fighting for nothing before. So then it's gonna be difficult. But the plan is to retire after my contract is finished.
And why French fries sitting in the Bahamas? Not a beer, not a nice cocktail.
I don't know. Whatever makes me fat, and I'm gonna drink beer also. No problem. Beer, cocktails, whatever. Yeah.
All right, Gegard. Well, thank you so much for your time and best of luck, man.